A wizard tower.
Return of Gelu review.
Nice wolf armor, by the way. Hey! Lion Hero. He is going to be a special guest in this Terraria series.
Greetings, comrades. This is 88 Gelu, here with the modified version of my Mandiblor Eternal deck. In other words, my Danian composter deck. So this is a modified version of it where it is now a 10v10 deck. So let's get into the review, shall we? As you might have noticed, they're all the same guys here. Here's Elad, once again with the Bio Motorcycle. Macanaz, once again with the Orcus of Undin, to give him water. And just for a refresher, in case you haven't seen this before, when Elad dies and is in the discard pile, all Mandiblors you control gain Outperform Courage 5. Bio Motorcycle begins the game flipped up, and equipped creature has range in Swift 1, but its purpose is so you can sacrifice it to give another creature range in Swift 1. Namely Hydrome, who you will also sacrifice Elad for in order to activate his Hive ability. Hydrome has both Earth and Water, and when Hive is activated, he gains 15 energy, and engaged opponent loses 15 energy, and he has the Evergreen Tunic, which will give him another 20 HP, ramping his HP up to, let me do some math here, 90. We also have another Hydrome over here. This one has a bit too little courage, so I gave him the Armbands of Lore to give him plus 5 energy and 40 courage. So when he has his Hive activated, he will become a 95. Macanaz here, when he's in the discard pile, all of your Mandiblors will gain 15 energy. And this other Macanaz has a Baltherian Axe, which gives him plus 5 energy, making it 75, and creatures he's engaged with lose 10 energy. This Elid is equipped with an Evergreen Tunic. Now, at the beginning of the game, you're going to want to sacrifice this guy and his battle gear to power up your Hydrome. These three you're going to want to stick with as your front lines, because they're both powerful, but if they die, it'll just strengthen your team. And I also want to switch these guys. Now, after Elad dies, you want to switch him out with you want to replace his position with Ivlan. The reason Ivlan isn't starting at the back is because he is the main Muge of your team, because he has 2 Muge counters. But if he dies, all your Mandiblors gain 25 to all disciplines. And he has the Citadel Lodestone in order to give him Earth attack, so he has Earth and Water, to make him a bit more of a potent adversary. Next up, we have Irabek. Irabek has Water 5. Hive, Irabek gains 10 energy. Don't bother activating his Hive. You really don't need it, except for if you're going to activate with one of the Mugics. He has 1 Mugic counter. So does Hydrome. So these four are going to be your main Muges. Though, if you're lucky, you won't really need any of your Mugicians. He also has the Drill Dozer, give him plus 20 energy, making it 80. Then we have 2 Mians in the back. These are going to be the most powerful of your team, because the more creatures die, they gain 5 energy and 5 to each discipline. So not only will they gain the buffs of these 5 guys over here, but also they will be, if all 5 of them die and Irabek and Hydrome also die, then they will gain a total of, let's see, 35 energy and 35 to all disciplines, making this guy, making him a 90 have 90 energy, and also with the aspect amplifier of bravery, these two should switch. He's going to have an additional outperform courage 5, in addition to the 2 he will get from Elod, giving him outperform courage 15. Then this Mian, who I switched out for that one, has 5 less energy, but has the Citadel Fragments, where it gains 5 energy and 5 to all disciplines for each element type. And because Mian has all of the element types except fire, it will gain 15 energy and 15 to all disciplines, making it a 65 to begin with, not including all the creatures in the grave. Well, discard pile. I've been playing too much Yu-Gi-Oh! Now we will go over the Mujiks. Now, considering that this is an upgraded deck, I'm just going to let you guys look at me and... Nope, never mind. The camera doesn't want to. That this is an upgraded deck, that means that the only things that have increased have been creatures, battle gear, and Mujiks. So it's all the same locations. Actually, no, I did switch one of the locations and all the same attacks. So here we have... The more unnecessary Mujiks are Draining Dirge, because everyone except for Ivlan has Earth. There is Anthem of Stone is not really that necessary. Then we have Ancestral Anthem. The reason even though it does activate Hive ability, it's by removing one of your creatures from the grave, which will just weaken Mian, and if you remove one of the compost guys, then it's just going to weaken the whole thing. So it's not very smart to use that. Unsung isn't really that necessary, but it could be useful in a crisis. And and then we also have Empowering Encourse, which gives target creature all element types creatures in your discard pile have. Now, the more important ones are 2 Intensive Polyphony, which, if you have taken 15 or more attack damage that turn, costs 0 mana, not 2, to activate Hive. Then we have a Choral of Apparition, cost 2 mana, sacrifice an unengaged Mandiblor to return target Danian from your discard pile with no Mujik counters into the battle space where the sacrificed Mandiblor was. If you control only Danians, return it into any open space instead. This could be really useful for bringing back Hydrom or Mian if either of them die, like, say, by an opponent with range. Then we have Cathraz Cacophony. Heal 5 damage to your engaged creature for each element type it has. If you control only Danians, also deal 5 damage to the opposing engaged creature for each element type. So if you were to cast this... If you were to cast this from, say, Ivlan, Irabek, or Hydrom while you have Mian, then it would heal 15 energy and deal 15 damage. This is probably also not really that necessary. In fact, Empowering Encore is probably better. Then we have Harmonics of Water, where it can give a creature water. Just like Anthem of Stone can give them Earth, except both of them, if the creature already has water, it can give them Water 5 or give them Earth 5. So this one could actually be pretty useful. Now we will go over locations. The new location that I've added was Cyrilline's Lair. I can't really remember which one I took out, but you could just reference it back to the previous episode when I show you through the locations. Cyrilline's Lair. Initiative. Courage at the beginning of combat. If a player has fewer Mujic cards in hand than the number of creatures they control, that player discards a Mujic card. You are almost definitely most likely going to have less creatures than you do Mujic cards, especially because this is a compost deck. So that's just to weaken your opponent. Then we have Foothold Assault Trench, Initiative Wisdom. If all creatures a player controls are the same tribe, the player engaged creature deals an additional 5 attack damage. Now, the reason I don't have Mount Pillar here is just because Activate Hive until end of turn, it's not all that useful. Especially considering that you want Hive to stick around, not to mention most of this deck isn't Hive-based. And the ones that do, as I said, you want to stick around. 2 Mount Pillar Reservoirs, Initiative Water, engage creatures gain Fireproof 10, Danians gain Water 5. Elementire, Initiative Elementalist. At the beginning of combat, engage creatures gain 5 energy for each element type they have. Probably could be replaced by something better if I had something better. The Swart Brawn. Now, this would be something that I could replace Elementire with if I had a second one. Initiative Fire. At the engaged creatures with the lowest courage fails all checks on attacks it plays. Really useful in being more powerful than your opponent. Ropa Shack. Condensation Ceremony. Initiative Earth. Creatures without water cannot spend music counters to play music or abilities. The Hive Gallery. Also wish I had another one of these. Initiative Earth. Engaged creatures gain Outperform Courage 5. Damage dealt by power attacks are reduced by 5. 2 of these would be very useful in this deck. Mepedian Mirage. Initiative Danian. All creatures gain Swift. Mirage. If a creature can move into this space, it must do so. Mainly there for the initiative. Ropa Shack Chigmarid. Initiative Music counters. When a Ropa Shack Chigmarid becomes active location, each player places a music counter on a creature they control. So if you have this at your disposal, I would replace Mepedian Mirage and Elementire with another Swarped Brawn and another Hive Gallery. Now we have the attacks. We have Torrent of Water. Water, gain 10 courage, 5 earth damage, 5 water damage. Swarming Destruction, if you control any non-Danians, this deals 0. 5 base damage, 5 earth, 5 water. 2 of those. Tidal Surge, 5 water. Tidal Surge deals 0 if the opposing engaged creature has any mutant counters. Flood Force, 15 water damage. Incessant Wave, 10 base damage, 5 water damage. Stat check, courage 60, deal 5 damage. 2 Charge of the Braves. Challenge Courage 5, deal 10 damage. Challenge Courage 30, deal 10 damage. Challenge Courage 50, deal 10 damage. 1 Enlightened Tenacity. 5 earth damage. Stat check Courage 30, deal 5 damage. Stat check Courage 50, deal 5 damage. And stat check Courage 70, deal 5 damage. Daunting Bravery. 5 base damage, challenge courage 15, deal 10 damage, stat check courage 50, opposing engaged creature loses 15 courage. Shadow Strike. If I had more than one, if I had another Shadow Strike, I'll go over that later. Challenge courage 15, deal 10 damage. Spirit Gust, stat check courage 50, deal 5 damage. Tectus Strike. 10 base damage, 10 earth damage, stat check courage 60, deal 10 damage. Streak Strike, 5 base, 5 earth damage, stat check courage 50, deal 5 damage, stat check speed 50, deal 5 damage. Mineral Mayhem, 5 base damage, 5 earth damage. You may choose Mineral Mayhem to deal no damage. If you do, gain 100 courage. Another Streak Strike, Earth Shape, so gain Earth. Petrifying Power, 5 earth damage. This deals 0 damage if the opponent controls the active location. Clean Slide, 5 earth damage. Deal 0 if your opponent has earth. Earth Pulse, 15 base earth damage. Now, if I had a second Shadow Strike and Spirit Gust, I would replace Tidal Surge and also Clean Slide with them. Also, I would suggest replacing Streak Strike with another Daunting Bravery, which I also don't have. So yeah, guys, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. If you guys have any requests for other chaotic deck videos, or just, you know, like, if you could just tell me another deck you would like me to construct, because honestly, it's much harder than people think just trying to create a deck from scratch every single time, because then I have to sort through all my cards, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. So yeah, guys, thanks again for watching. Goodbye.